Good. All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the regularly scheduled Evans City Council meeting for November 19, 2024. My name is Mark Clark. I'm the mayor. I'll call the meeting to order. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Clark.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Spear.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson.
Present.
Councilmember Neal. Councilmember Pletka.
Here.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Here.
Councilmember Delaney.
Present.
All right, next item on the agenda is audience participation. Is there anybody that wishes to address City Council on any item not of a public hearing or on the agenda? If so, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record. All right, seeing none, we're moving on. Approval of the agenda. Madam Clerk, are there any changes to the agenda? All right,
I move to approve the agenda. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item, consent agenda. Item number 1, approval of the November 4th, 2024 City Council meeting minutes. Item number 2, consideration of ordinance number 833-24, repealing subsections of the Evans Municipal Code to ensure consistent enforcement regarding recreational vehicle and equipment. Second reading. Item number 3, consideration of ordinance number 834-24, vacating a permanent easement between the Evans Redevelopment Agency and the City of Evans located on lots 1 and 2 of the junction of Evans final plat, replat A, second reading. Item number 4, consideration of an Evans Ditch license and utility crossing agreement with Viero Broadband LLC, 31st Street and Lakeside Drive. Item number 5, consideration of an Evans Ditch license and utility crossing agreement with Allo Communications LLC, 37th Street between 15th Avenue and Carson Court. Item number 6, consideration of an Evans Ditch license and utility crossing agreement with Allo Communications LLC at 36th Street and 11th Avenue.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. And I will note for the record, it's 7:04 and Council Member Neal is present on the dais. All right, next item, item number 7, installation of oath of office, new council members, installation of oath of office. And I know we have Judge Stewart here to do the oath.
There you go. That slope is a little much. You don't have brakes.
Go all over that.
Having fun with that. It's getting used to you wreck. Right.
Please raise your right hand. I, and state your name.
I, Mark Clark,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will support the Constitution of the United
that I will
States,
support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of
the
Colorado,
Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Home Rule Charter,
the Home Rule Charter,
and the ordinances of the City of Evans, Colorado,
and the ordinances of the City of Evans, Colorado,
and will faithfully perform
and will faithfully perform
the duties of the office of mayor,
and will faithfully perform the duties of office of mayor,
on which I'm about to enter,
upon which I'm about to enter
to the best of my
to
ability.
the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Who's next?
You guys.
Yep, one of you two.
Okay.
Kyle.
Kyle, yeah.
Kyle.
Raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Colorado, the Home Rule Charter, and the ordinances of the City of Evans, Colorado, and I will faithfully perform the duties of the office of Council Member, Ward 1, upon which I am about to enter to the best of my ability.
It's in.
You sure?
He's out.
Raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Colorado, the Home Rule Charter, and the ordinances of the City of Evans, Colorado. I will faithfully perform the duties of the office of Council Member, Ward 2, on which I am about to enter to the best of my ability. I state your name.
I, Chris Delaney,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Home Rule Charter,
the Home Rule Charter,
and ordinances of the City of Evans, Colorado,
and ordinances of the City of Evans, Colorado,
and will faithfully perform the duties
and will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of Council Member, Ward 3,
of the office of Council Member Ward 3,
of which I am about to enter
which I'm about to enter
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Before we move into, before we move, I think it's dead.
Here.
Thank you. Jill's in it, isn't it? All right, before we move into new business, I just want to take a couple moments and recognize Laura Spear for her dedication to the city of Evans over the last 10 years. It's been a pleasure and it's been an honor to work with you along the side for as many years as we've worked together. You've brought a lot of wealth of knowledge to the city. You've also helped us move this city to where we are now. And because of you and your insights, working with all of us on council, Evans is what it is today because of you. And we really appreciate all your hard work and dedication. And we do have another token of our appreciation here to give to you this evening. So if you want to come up, I'll present this here to you.
Do you need help?
No, I'm good.
You see though.
he's good.
Appreciate it.
This is how you'll be walking in about 6 weeks.
Right?
And it could be a dangerous job up here.
Yeah, I hope it's not contagious.
Seriously, knock on wood.
For your dedication to the city of Evans, we got this plaque here for you, so you can always remember your time on council and with us. So, you got it. Yeah, absolutely. If anybody on council wishes to say anything, please, the floor is open.
I'm really going to miss working with you. You are very passionate for the city and your ward. And thank you for all your help these last 5.5 years with me. I'm really gonna miss you.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for this. This is really nice. I don't know what I'm gonna do on Tuesday nights. I mean, I started with the Flood Recovery Task Force after the flood of 2013 and was on the Planning Commission and the Police Citizens Advisory Board and several other commissions. And in those 11 years, up until this accident, I hadn't missed a single meeting. So that means I've been in this chamber or in this building at least once a month for the past 11 years. So I guess I don't know what I'll do Tuesday nights. Maybe I'll stick at home with my husband, or maybe I'll come here and bother you guys from where I started out in the audience over here. So anyways, the city's certainly changed a lot from when I got on this. And I feel like I was always worried about what was going to happen when I was term limited out and stepped down. And it's just a great feeling to know that we have great staff, and we've got a good path ahead of us, and we've got really passionate and compassionate people sitting up on the dais there. So I'm feeling really confident to be able to ride off into the sunset. Well, maybe ride next year. But anyway, so I enjoyed working and getting to know each and every one of you. And I hope to see you again soon. So, and the same with the staff too. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anything, any other additional comments they want to say?
No, I'm gonna miss you too, Laura, so, I hope you get healed up completely.
Fred, I was expecting a tuxedo out of you tonight.
No, I've been messing with this stuff for 3 weeks with this stuff, and it just seems to get irritated in my throat at the wrong times.
I just want to say, Laura, thank you for your service. You've, as mentioned, helped the city, grow in the path that it's heading. Your contributions are invaluable. And again, it's because of your passion and your service to our community. So thank you.
Laura, it was great knowing you. And in this short period of time, I've learned a lot from you personally. So I'm looking forward to now of getting a cup of coffee or maybe an adult beverage together. Cheers.
Laura, it was great working with you for these few months I've been on council, and I learned a lot from you, and the institutional of this knowledge of this body has taken a hit. So we will miss that. You knew a lot about the history of the city, so thank you.
Staff?
Yeah, Laura, I just appreciative for you. As one of the council members that hired me, I just want to thank you for your support. I feel like we've come a long way over the last 23 months, and I'm deeply appreciative of you and the support and the opportunity that you've given me here. And I was talking to Ashley the other night. We were talking about this council meeting and what this means, and I said, well, Laura's kind of like differential equations, right? And she said, what do you mean? I said, because there were so many times where I walked out of differential equations at Wichita State, and I'm like, what in the world was that? And there's been so many phone calls that we've had where I hung up the phone, and I'm like, I don't know what that was. But with that, thank you for your support. Thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to many more phone calls from you.
All right.
I did mention, I love this. Thank you. Appreciate it. Awesome.
Yep, came directly from the street shop that you helped put together, or the sign shop, yep. So, awesome. All right, if there's nothing and no other additional comments, we'll move on to new business, election of Mayor Pro Tem number 8.
Move to nominate Tammy Pletka as Mayor Pro Tem.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to nominate Tammy Pletka as Mayor Pro Tem. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, next up. All right, item number 9, under new business, consideration of resolution number 21-2024 regarding a petition for annexation filed by John L. Sangler and Gail E. Sangler for approximately 19.51 acres of land located approximately 0.17 miles east of Kiowa Drive and approximately 200 feet north of Mesa Verde Drive, and setting a public hearing date to consider the annexation request, and we will hear from staff. And I just want to let everybody on council know, don't read too much in this. This is just consideration if they meet the criteria for annexation. So, turn over to
Great,
staff.
thank you. Could I have that PowerPoint? Good evening, Mayor and council members. Michael Hall, City Planner, Community Development Department. For your consideration is Resolution 21-2024, being the Sanger annexation petition as signed by the property owners John and Gail Sanger for approximately 19.51 acres of land located approximately 0.17 miles east of Kiowa Drive, which is in Arrowhead, and approximately 200 feet north of Mesa Verde Drive, which is in Highland Park. The purpose of this item is for City Council to determine if the annexation meets the eligibility requirements to accept the petition, also known as substantial compliance, thereby advancing the annexation process, and to set a public hearing date to consider the annexation request in the future. As stated, the City of Evans Community Development Department received a petition for annexation submitted by the property owners on October 18th of 2024. The city clerk has an obligation to refer the petition to City Council for the subject property as delegated to the City Planning Division. This annexation consists of 3 legal lots with a combined area of approximately 19.51 acres. This resolution to consider the annexation petition is the first step in the annexation process, and this agenda item is not open to public hearing since it's a procedural item to accept the petition, establish the public hearing date, and determine if an annexation agreement is required. Directing your attention to the screen. This is a zoomed-in portion of the 2022 Evans Future Land Use Map. Using my screen on the left, you can see slightly that dashed red right in there. Okay, that's the subject site. This map designates the subject property for open space uses shown in green, which is characteristic of currently unincorporated Weld County Ag Zone parcels. The surrounding lands are designated as the residential urban, as shown in yellow. Although not a part of the tonight's scope of hearing, the proposed zoning of this property is R1E or estate, which does align with this future land use map. And in this way, there is a demonstrated community of interest between the property and the anticipated land use designations of the city, which is one of the requirements for eligibility. This slide shows the vicinity area nearby the site. You can see 37th to the north, less than a half mile away, and 47th as well with the roundabout and Arrowhead Reservoir. For reference, the site is located directly north of unincorporated Highland Park subdivision, and then directly south of the proposed Freedom Gateway subdivision, as well as the proposed RE6 potential high school site, and then the Ashcroft Draw bisects all 3 lots in their northern portion. Also to note, there are no rights of way included in this annexation request. This map shows the current municipal limit extent as shown in red. The site borders Evan limits on the north and eastern sides, and note this site is slightly less than 20 acres and has demonstrated a perimeter contiguity of 41.6% relative to existing city limits, which is greater than the required 1.6 minimum, or a 16%. This is the draft annexation plat as included in the petition application. No formal redline review of the plat has occurred to date. Should City Council accept this petition, a standard referral and review process will occur, evaluating the merits of both the annexation plat and the associated zoning application materials. As this is the first step in the annexation process and no processing of the annexation itself has begun, no mailed, legal, or posted notice was done for this hearing. This will be performed in December and January should the petition be accepted. A brief 2-week referral period was held prior to this hearing to solicit any referral comments related to the petition only, and no comments were received that oppose or had any bearing on the petition request. Of singular note, the Evans Fire Protection District comments did indicate that a separate petition into the Evans Fire will be required within 90 days of the formal annexation, which does not influence this agenda item. Regarding financials, there's no financial responsibility to the city with this application other than staff's time involved in processing the petition. An annexation agreement and annexation impact report as required will be created as part of the annexation review process and presented at a later city council date to determine the impact on the city and any affected special districts. Staff evaluated the petition according to the eligibility criteria in section 31-12-104 of CRS and as restated in section 18.03.130.b1 of the Evans Municipal Code. The application was found to be in compliance with the criteria as detailed in the staff report and resolution. This slide lists the criteria per the Evans Municipal Code, which again mirrors the Colorado Revised Statutes. You can see there are 5 criteria there. It is the opinion of staff that the applicant has demonstrated compliance with all of these eligibility requirements. And this slide lists the responsibilities of City Council per the Colorado Revised Statutes. From petition submittal to this hearing, approximately 1 month has transpired, meeting the spirit of without undue delay. The 2 options listed on the screen, 1 and 2, are that 1, that the petition does not meet the criteria, and therefore the annexation petition will not be accepted, which would effectively cease this annexation. Or the second option, that the petition does meet the requirements, will advance through the process to set a hearing date time, as well as determining if an annexation agreement is required. Therefore, the Community Development Department recommends that the City Council accept this annexation petition as it substantially complies with the state and municipal annexation petition requirements. The City Council course of action, as shown on the screen tonight, as well as the hearing date recommendation for February 18th, 2025 at 7 p.m. to consider the Sanger annexation, and that City Council should require an annexation agreement at the suggestion of staff, given there's going to be some unique components of the site or of this annexation that should be stipulated in an agreement. For reference, this slide shows the planned annexation timeline with respect to hearing dates. The first item on the list is tonight's hearing. The middle bolded item is what we are setting tonight and requesting council to determine, which is the City Council annexation and that an agreement would be required. And again, that's February 18th. And then the other hearings that are shown are associated with the paired zoning application. At this time, I've concluded my remarks. I may take any questions, and the suggestion motion is included in the staff report. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Michael. Any questions or comments for staff? Oh, it's pretty straightforward to me. They do meet the criteria for the annexation, so I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve resolution number 21-2024 as proposed and establish the annexation and annexation agreements hearing date to be February 18th, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 21-2024 as proposed and establish the annexation and annexation agreement hearing date to be February 18th, 2025. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Great, thank you, Michael. All right, next item on the agenda, item number 10, consideration of the State Street Sanitary Sewer Replacement Project Contract. And we will hear from staff.
Good evening, Ty Boreski, Public Works and Utilities Director. Today I'll be presenting on the consideration of State Street Sanitary Sewer Replacement Project. There's quite a bit of moving parts on this, so I'm going to do my best to summarize the lengthy staff report. So for years, the city has been working to replace the sanitary sewer on State Street between 31st and 37th. As we made progress towards, that kind of lived within our capital planning project horizon, we had received some funding and awarded the East Side Storm Sewer 35th Street outfall project at 35th and State. So once that was awarded, we quickly realized that there were a number of compatibility issues between that existing sewer project in the capital improvement plan and this outfall at 35th. So that kind of forced this State Street project to the forefront. We moved it up a few years from the original plan. So this was brought to council in August 20th, and engineering at the time were seeking an alternative project delivery method with BP Construction. So this method that engineering staff were interested in employing are typically applied to more specialty projects. And what happens is you have an engineer who is up to date on the design or has been involved in the design process. They come up with their firm's engineering estimate, and then you bring in a third-party entity to evaluate the bid to make sure it's they can reconcile you're getting fair market value. So the city had a bid from BT Construction, initially came in at $2.08 million. And engineering staff selected a third-party entity, Capstone, who came in with, they came in at 2.08 against the BT Construction 1.91 million. The goal of the reconciliation process with this method that engineering employed was to have both of these independent assessments within 5% of each other. Ultimately, through this process, they managed to get two amounts that were within the 5% at 4.6%, and staff at the time wanted to award the project in the amount of basically 1.9 million with a 5% contingency. So that motion passed, but questions were raised whether or not the alternative project delivery method engineering staff at the time wanted to employ actually fit within our procurement policy. And with we followed up with legal counsel, met with the city manager, and we wanted to make sure that we were in full compliance without a reasonable doubt, and we decided to take this forward to a competitive bid process. So we had a pre-bid in September with the bid closing September 19th, and we received 9 bids. 8 of them are summarized in the staff report below, and 1 was not read because it did not include all the required documentations. The low bid came through from Colorado Civil Infrastructure at 1.061 million. And then we had the high bid of BT Construction at 1.8. So this basically resulted in a difference of about $850,000 less than the reconciliation bid that was brought to council on August 20th. So based on this price differential, a desire to have a better understanding of the plan sets the bids were made off of, we're looking to reject this bid and reevaluate the entire bid process from the ground up on this project. So what that means from a financial component is we have $2 million budgeted for this project. So we would move that into 25. The goal is that we would both of these projects are still interrelated. So we do have to find a way to get this project done. We just want to make sure it is done properly and complies with all of our financial policies. So I will open it up to questions.
Great, thank you, Ty. Any questions or comments from council? I just want to say that's a big number, $849,000 less than originally brought to us before. That's a substantial amount of taxpayer money right there. So.
Yeah, and we have some initial thoughts on why that difference exists. So the design plan we received was a CMAR approach, which is a construction manager at risk, basically a design process where you have a maximum amount and the contractor works to get there. Some initial thoughts are that the competitive bid that was put out did not include all of the elements that needed to be included that would have just been covered under this CMAR maximum price project. And that's kind of what started these red flags. And I think that's why we're seeing such a huge discrepancy between the third-party assessment, the initial bid, and what we received competitively. In order to make sure we didn't come back with extensive change orders on what looks like a low bid that's probably not qualifying, we decided that we're better off rejecting if council approves that suggested motion and reassessing to make sure we have a better engineer's estimate for the project moving forward and that all elements are included.
Right. Nope. I appreciate looking at this and pulling it back and going out for that competitive bid and making sure that we get the project done because it definitely needs to be done, but also at the same time ensuring that the taxpayers' money is well spent and not spent recklessly by the council and by the city itself. So thank you for looking into that in more depth. So I appreciate that. Any other? Go ahead.
I just have one thing. The one other thing that I appreciate the recommendation you're making tonight. I think it shows that you guys are really working hard to make sure that we're doing the best by the citizens. And the only thing I want to say is I know that some of these vendors may or may not have now bid twice on this project, and I know that's a hard pill to swallow because that's time and money for them. But just to anybody listening to this, we are doing this because it's what's best for the city, and it's also what's best for the awarded vendor by the time we get there. So I hope people come out and still bid this project, and that's what I wanted to say.
Appreciate that. Any other additional questions and or comments?
Well, if the additional or the original bid specs were left out some things that needed to be included in this project, then it definitely needs to be rebid with the proper engineering requirements fulfilled in the bid specifications so that the contractors know what they're getting into.
All right, if there are no other additional questions or comments, I would entertain a motion.
I move to reject the bids associated with the State Street Sanitary Sewer Replacement Construction Project.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to reject the bids associated with the State Street Sanitary Sewer Replacement Construction Project. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you, Ty. Appreciate it. All right. Next item on the agenda, reports, City Manager.
Yes, Mayor and Council, have a few things for you here tonight. Number one, 37th Street from 35th Avenue to 38th Avenue will be closed tomorrow, starting at 8 a.m. The purpose of the closure is to allow a connection to the city's water line in 37th Street for the new Murphy's fueling station at the northwest corner of 37th Street and 35th Avenue. The street is expected to be open tomorrow by the end of the day, unless things have changed. All right, so one-day closure, get in, tap the main, get out. Reminder that I've sent out a few emails. I know Julie has as well. But a reminder that the holiday lighting ceremony and recreation open house is scheduled for this Friday, November 22nd, 2024, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Santa's grand entrance and the lighting ceremony will take place at 6 p.m. So you should have gotten an updated calendar invite today. Please gather in the Cottonwood Room at 5:45, and we'll get you taken care of from there. Okay, and then the last thing, just a reminder that I will be out of the office next week for Thanksgiving. Although I'm out of the office, I will be available. I will be in town, so if there's anything that you need or anything I can do for you, please call my cell phone. We'll get you taken care of. That's all I've got, Mr. Mayor.
Great, thank you. City Attorney.
Nothing further.
All right, sounds good. All right, next item, council discussion. I was going to mention the holiday, the tree lighting ceremony on Friday. Cody already did that. I just want to put on everybody's radar, please save the date for January 18th, which is a Saturday for the council strategic retreat that we're going to look to put together, place and time to be determined, but I just wanted to give everybody an advance notice that that's what we're looking at. Other than that, I don't have anything. Does anybody else have anything? All right, seeing none. Yes, sir.
One quick thing. We've got an update on lead and copper inventory.
Oh.
Is it lead and copper? Yeah, lead and copper inventory that I'd like for Ty to give you an update on.
Sure, great, please.
So I'm gonna plan to mention this in our formal work session in 2 weeks, but given that you may get some questions coming in from constituents, I wanted to make sure you're aware. So there's something in the water world called the lead and copper rule revisions. It's basically requiring utilities like ours to have a full understanding of service lines in their system. So that's the line between basically where it connects to our system to the meter and then to the home. Part of what we were required to do was to complete an inventory of a statistically relevant sample by October 16th. So we completed that using a contract with AE2S on October 7th. And so what we found from that inventory was we identified 0 lead service lines, 0 galvanized lines requiring replacement. So if a galvanized line is ever found downstream of lead, you assume that there is some potential lead exposure there and have to remove it as well. We have 3,367 lead status unknown service lines. So these are lead service lines that we have not had the chance to verify, or not. These are unknown material lines that we have not had the chance to verify. And then we had another 3,626 that are verified as non-lead. So kind of how this impacts the city is that 3,367 with an unknown service line material have to receive notification. That's the requirement here. So they will receive, they should have received already formal notification via a hard copy mailer that basically lets you know that, hey, you are one of the 3,300 plus with an unknown service line. Reach out to us and let's start the process of verifying and building out our inventory. So they will get these letters annually on July 1st if they are not included in the inventory yet. So the goal is that in the near future, you get eyes on the remaining. So just wanted to give an update on that in case you get questions. We're not telling anyone they are confirmed to have lead at this point.
Right. Great. Thank you for the update. Appreciate it. All right. Anything else for the good of the order? If not, all right. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Meeting adjourned. I know, you got lucky.